Hey, thank you for stopping by. And I'm going to talk about how frustrating building a model railroad can be and what you can do to help relieve the misery that sometimes comes when you're building your first layout or one that's bigger than the one you had when 35 years ago happened. I think it's important for you to always have something that relaxes you while you're in here, in whatever space that you have. So for me, it's music. Um, I know I wear a lot of YouTube shirts. Um, I had a bunch of them that were older, and I've lost over 100 pounds in the past 3 years. When I got found out that I had diabetes type 2, and I was 340 pounds back then. And over time with Manjaro, I am at a point now where I'm 220, 225, depending on the day. And all the shirts were 4X's, and now I had to go buy 2X's because the other ones look like a 10 on me. So that's the story behind that. But it really is that the best thing I found to help you be in a good state of mind is I play music every time I'm in here now. I didn't do it when I worked on that table, and on that table was a nightmare. I had a bunch of problems. It took me a long time to get it where it was really going to work. And I started toward the end of this nightmare that is now very well done, I think. It really just helps me not get depressed or mad because things didn't work out right. I was born in 58. So I had all the 60s, and I lived in a town called Sylvania, which is a suburb of Toledo, Ohio, and right on the Michigan state line. And back then it was AM radio, and we had some good radio stations in Toledo, but up by Detroit, it was actually in Windsor, Ontario, right across the river from Detroit, was the Motown sound. And I grew up in Motown music. And then into, the really true rock era. And I have a playlist that I have in here. I've got a iPod, the big one that came out first. Just awesome sound. But I have Motown, I have rock, I have punk, I have reggae, I got some country, just songs that I liked. Newer country is getting a little bit rocky, and I just like enjoying the music. And mistakes happen; they're going to happen. Today, I made a big mistake. I was cutting out the door for the shop, and I used a Dremel, and I thought I was using a plastic cutting disc, and it wasn't. And I had it at too high a speed, and this thing is nasty. You can see that cut over there. It's totally not even level. But at first I was like, oh no, now I got to get another part. But I calmed down. I said, well, wait a minute. I'll put this on the back side where nobody's going to see it. And I got roll down door thing. And so I'm going to put it in with a little air current come underneath there. Doing something, if I can hold this right. Kind of like that. And it'll be in the back. Nobody will see it. I'm not going to use the Dremel this time. I've got it drawn out right there. That's what I need. I'm going to use a regular saw, hand saw. And I think I'm going to drill a couple holes in the corners. Just inside so I don't go too far. And I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. This is the only thing I got to do that's really serious. They have on certain parts of this, if you never built one of Pike stuff, it's this, scratch, put it together, but there'll be like a little door outlined right there. So in one of the panels, I'm going to cut out the door, cut out a couple windows, and a couple more doors, and put it all together. And I'll have that ready for when the track comes. It shipped today. The main thing is the turnouts. So tomorrow I'm going to strip all this down, paint it brown, let it dry, and I'll probably put this track down again just to make it all work out. I think I can do it. And if I can't, I'll figure it out. But there's so many things in building a model railroad, and there's a lot of things on my layout that are from my past, from growing up around Toledo, Detroit, DT&I, Detroit, Toledo, and Ironton. That's why this whole thing started. So I've told about in another video, I've talked about the grocery store over there. I grew up in a grocery store, literally. My grandparents built this grocery store, and they had an incredible time. They were incredible entrepreneurs. A gas station there, the Marathon. My dad had a Marathon and worked on a bunch of cars. And for example, I used this in the city of Mohawk, and that's a pretty small tank. So it's going to be in here because I use the water too. But this reminds me of riding my bike up into town in Sylvania to go to the public pool. And they had a big water tank like this. Looks exactly like it. So, I've got to put a bunch of little wires. There's little wires that cross over here. I gave up after 3 for a while, and I'll go back and put that in and then paint it and put a city of Mohawk in there. So there's all kinds of things that it's cool when you build a layout and you can put in things that your mind knew as a kid or as an adult, and it makes it feel more like you. I love that. I've lived down in Tennessee now for, 40 years. And I love it here. And so to have, Mohawk is a real town in Tennessee. It's extremely small. I did a video about that too, that, how did it get the name Mohawk? Well, some Mohawk Indians came into town. I forgot what the name was before it. And Lick Creek, I think was one of the names for it. And some Mohawks, Indians, came into town, and they liked them so well that they named the town Mohawk. Believe that or not. They were heading south. And it's just, it's just an incredible story there. And I went to a place right next to Mohawk was a Walmart distribution center. I used to go there all the time, delivering stuff there and picking up empties and stuff as a truck driver. And so that town was just like always stuck in my mind. Mohawk. Well, that's just a great name. So that's what I'm going to do. And so, it's not, Mohawk was never this big. But with the story behind it is that Black Rock is in West Virginia, which is where my dad came from. He worked in the coal mines up there. So it was a short line from West Virginia down to Mohawk with coal. And so there's just a lot of things that you can incorporate. I mean, this is all make believe, but there's little jewels of truth that are in all of that. And it's just going to be fun to finish this. Now, to talk about finishing it. When I built like this side and I knew we were going into the next table right there, that made that easy. Then from that table to this table, easy. And at first, when I started doing this, I was thinking that I was going to add another table on the end of this to come over. And that's stupid because it's the same length as that table. And I realized, oh, that was dumb. So I had to restart that, do it all over again. And then I've got a 4-foot space between these two tables. And I have to have a lift up bridge. So the plan was, and still is for the bridge, it'll be 18 inches deep, 2 feet wide. But then I got another 2 feet over here. And I don't have to do it at 18 inches. I'm going to make that a 2 foot by 2 foot. I'm going to build that tomorrow. And that way it gives me more scenery. I can have a customer over there to pick up or deliver. And then we'll have the lift up bridge, which is just going to be mind blowing if I get it right. But I just wanted to kind of like, if you're starting building and things aren't going well, get something, music, videos, whatever. I'm going to put, I have an extra TV that I was going to sell, but I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to put it up on the wall on the back up here and hook it into a computer. And that way I can like watch YouTube videos while I'm in here. I can watch sports if I'm in here. It'll just be something else that just kind of keeps you moving, because don't get into the rut of, oh man, this is not going right. It's okay. It's totally cool. You just have to, you got to make sure that you're going to enjoy what you just built. And that was a big issue over here of wanting to put in 6 places where I could pick up over here or deliver. And truth of the matter is there's 3, and that's okay. Plus I have an exchange yard that comes around this side, and it'll be great because I'll have a track that doesn't go anywhere. That is from like Norfolk and Western Southern Railway. Those can come in to the interchange, not have to come into the yard. And then we can just pull that stuff to customers or to the yard, depending on when they're supposed to deliver. So it's all good, man. Just keep going, keep doing it, but make sure that you know that, yes, I like this, and I know this is going to be a fun part to play with, if you will. Same over here. This is going to be awesome, I think. Just doing those things, I don't want to just run just trains around the circle. I am going to do that, But while that train's going around in the circle, I'm doing shuttling over here and the tracks over here, and the interchange tracks over there, the customers that are over here and behind me. So you really have, you know, it's an oyster with a pearl. And you just got to figure out how to do that. Just make sure that when you see it and you can visualize in your mind what's going on here, what's going on over there, what's going on over there, what's going on over there, I think it's going to be great. So be happy. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. I'm sorry about my voice. I've done way too much talking today. And be safe, be happy, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be very shortly because I'm going to put that 2 foot. And then I'm going to stare at that little hole there where 2 foot is going to be, that'll be awesome. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate every single one of you, and we'll see you in the next video.